Spain are world champions. Argentina are in ruins. Messi's last dance ended not with a trophy, but with his team having 2 shots in 120 minutes of a World Cup final against the most dominant defensive performance this tournament has ever seen. And the man who was supposed to save them got a red card. This is how Argentina's World Cup ended. Not with Messi magic, not with a last-minute winner, with Enzo Fernandez getting sent off, with Emiliano Martinez making 11 saves in a single World Cup final, a record that should never exist. A record that tells you everything about how completely and utterly Spain suffocated the defending world champions on the biggest night in football. Spain 1, Argentina 0. Ferran Torres, 106th minute. The substitute who changed everything. And Argentina's dream of back-to-back World Cups is over. Welcome back to Robert's Football Talk. I am your host, and if you are new here, subscribe right now, because today we are breaking down everything that happened at MetLife Stadium on Sunday night. The complete Argentina crash, the Fernandez red card that changed the match, Emi Martinez's extraordinary last stand, Ferran Torres, the unlikely hero, Yamal, the 18-year-old who played his first and last minutes of a World Cup final with complete authority. And the question that every football fan is asking this morning, was this the last time we ever see Messi at a World Cup? Subscribe now. Let us go. Part 1. The numbers that tell the whole story before we say a single word. I want to start with the statistics because they are so extreme, they are almost impossible to believe. Spain had 20 shots. Argentina had 2. 2 shots in a World Cup final. Not 2 shots on target. 2 shots total across 120 minutes of football. Spain had an expected goals total of 1.94. Argentina had 0.20. Spain had 60% possession. Argentina had 32%. Spain made 12 saves forced against them. Argentina's goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez made 11 saves. 11 in one match. A new World Cup final record. The previous record was 16 across an entire tournament, and Martinez nearly matched it in a single game. Those numbers are not the numbers of a tight final. They are not the numbers of 2 evenly matched teams fighting for 120 minutes. They are the numbers of one team completely dominating a match and one goalkeeper standing alone between his team and a defeat that came much earlier than the 106th minute. Argentina did not compete in this final. They survived. For 105 minutes, they survived on Martinez's brilliance, Spain's finishing, a disallowed goal, and a red card that made the survival impossible. And then, Ferran Torres put the ball in the net, and it was over. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now, because the story of how Argentina got to 106 minutes without conceding is the most remarkable goalkeeper performance this sport has produced in years. Part 2. Emiliano Martinez, the man who held everything together until he could not. Let me tell you about Emiliano Martinez's night, because he deserves that. Save after save after save. Oyarzabal, Yamal, Pedri, Williams. Torres twice before the goal. Marino. 12 Spain shots on target in this match. Martinez saved 11 of them. He made so many saves that the MetLife crowd was applauding him by the second half of extra time. The opposing team's fans giving a standing ovation to the goalkeeper, trying to stop them winning the World Cup. That is the level of performance Martinez produced on Sunday night, and it still was not enough. Because here is the truth about Argentina in this final. A goalkeeper can only do so much. When your team has 2 shots in 120 minutes of a World Cup final, when your expected goals total is .20, when Spain are making 29 entries into your left channel alone, and your team cannot find a single moment to breathe going forward, one goalkeeper cannot carry that. Martinez carried it for 105 minutes. He carried it longer than any goalkeeper should have to carry a team in a World Cup final. He made a record number of saves. He commanded his box. He organized his defense under the most extreme pressure. And in the 106th minute, Nico Williams found Ferran Torres, and Martinez had no chance. But let the record show, Emiliano Martinez on Sunday night gave one of the greatest individual goalkeeping performances in World Cup final history. His team did not deserve to win. He personally deserved a different result. Now I want to ask you something. Was Martinez's performance enough to make him the best goalkeeper of this World Cup? Or does it simply show how badly Argentina needed him? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Part 3. The Fernandez red card. The moment that decided everything. For 90 minutes, Spain dominated and could not score. Martinez was unbeatable. Spain had a goal disallowed for a Merino foul in the build-up on Otamendi. Yamal was brilliant. Williams was causing chaos on the left. And still 0-0 at 90 minutes. And then in the 93rd minute of the match, Enzo Fernandez went in on Pau Cubarsí. Reckless. Both feet. High. A challenge that in any match at any stage of this tournament would have been a yellow card. Fernandez already had a yellow. Second yellow, red card. Argentina down to 10 men with extra time to come. Fernandez did the finger wag as he walked off. The gesture of a man who believes he did not deserve the red card. But replays showed clearly what everyone watching in real time had already understood. It was a second bookable offense. The referee had no choice. And from that moment, Argentina's World Cup was over. Not immediately. Martinez kept saving. The 10 men kept running. They kept defending. But Spain, with 11 players against 10 and an entire half of extra time ahead of them, were always going to find the moment eventually. Ferran Torres found it in the 106th minute. Yamal beat 2 defenders on the right and found Williams, whose cross was perfect. Torres arrived 8 yards out and rifled it past Martinez. The goal that could not be saved by anyone. Argentina's 2026 World Cup ended because Enzo Fernandez went in on Pau Cubarsí in the 93rd minute. That is the moment. That is the turning point. That is what 10 men in extra time looks like when the opposition is Spain. Part 4. Messi. The end of an era that nobody wanted to end like this. Here is the part of this story that every football fan needs to sit with for a moment regardless of which team they support. Lionel Messi, at 39 years old, played 90 minutes of a World Cup final and had almost no impact on the match. Not because he is finished, not because he cannot play anymore, because Spain built their entire defensive structure around eliminating him from the game, because Rodri and Zubamendi sat in front of Spain's defense and cut off every passing lane that could have found Messi, because Argentina's build-up play was so completely suffocated that Messi spent 90 minutes walking and waiting for chances that never arrived. Argentina had 0.2 expected goals in a World Cup final against Spain. With Messi on the pitch, he did not disappear because he stopped being Messi. He disappeared because Spain built the perfect machine to make sure nobody found him. And when nobody finds Messi, and Argentina cannot create from other areas, and the goalkeeper is making 11 saves, this is what happens. Spain won, Argentina 0. CBS Sports said Messi suffered as his last dance ended in disappointment. NBC Sports confirmed Messi has said this will be his final World Cup. He will be 43 years old by 2030. This was it, the final chapter. And it ended not with the trophy he came here to lift, but with the final whistle at 106 minutes and a scoreline that does not reflect what Messi has been at this tournament. 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 goal contributions in 7 matches, a golden boot that is his by a distance, the greatest individual performance by any player in their 30s at any World Cup in history, and he finishes runner-up. That is football's cruelty, and Messi understood it. NBC Sports reported that even Messi will concede Spain were worthy winners. Those were the words used to describe his reaction. Worthy winners. Not a lucky goal. Not a controversial decision. Worthy winners. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now and share this video. Because the next part is where this story gets truly extraordinary. Part 5. Ferran Torres. The substitute who wrote his name into history. Nobody was talking about Ferran Torres before Sunday. The build-up was all Yamal, Messi, Pedri, Oyarzabal, the established names, the players whose tournament performances had built the narrative. And then Torres came off the bench in the 84th minute and scored the World Cup winning goal in the 106th minute. He is only the second substitute in history to score the winning goal in a World Cup final. The first was Götze for Germany in 2014. In extra time, against Argentina, Torres joined that list on Sunday in New Jersey. The combination that produced the goal was everything Spain have been building toward for 3 weeks. Yamal received the ball in the right channel, beat 2 Argentine defenders simultaneously, and found Williams, whose cross was precise and low. Torres arrived with the intelligence of a striker who has been waiting for exactly that run and exactly that ball since he came on. 8 yards. Rifle into the corner. Martinez could not reach it. 1-1. Spain, 106th minute. And 37 seconds later, the stadium erupted in a way that MetLife, New Jersey had not heard since the tournament began. Spain were world champions for the second time, 16 years after South Africa. The European champions becoming world champions in the same cycle for the first time in football history. Part 6. Yamal, 18 years old, World Cup winner. The future that arrived today. Let me say this simply. Lamine Yamal is 18 years old. He has won the Euros and the World Cup in the same cycle. He has 5 assists at this tournament. He was involved in the build-up to the winning goal in the World Cup final. He is 18. Everything that has been said about him at this tournament. Every comparison to Messi at the same age. Every question about whether he was ready. Every analyst who said he was extraordinary but not yet complete. Sunday night answered all of it. He beat 2 Argentina defenders on the play that led to the winning goal. In the 106th minute of a World Cup final. At 18 years old, what happened at the baby photo event in 2007 when Messi held infant Yamal and smiled for a photograph is now the most extraordinary image in the history of football. The man in that photograph won 3 World Cups. The baby in that photograph just won his first. And there are potentially 3 or 4 or 5 more ahead of him. The era of Messi is over. The era of Yamal has begun. And the handover happened on Sunday night at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Part 7. Argentina's crash. Where did it all go wrong? Let us be honest about Argentina, because honesty is what this channel does. This Argentina team reached the World Cup final by surviving rather than dominating. Cape Verde pushed them to extra time in the round of 16. Egypt had them 2-0 down with 14 minutes to play before 3 late goals. Switzerland were reduced to 10 men by a VAR intervention that changed the match. England had them 1-0 down before 2 goals in the final 7 minutes. In every knockout match, Argentina found a way. Martinez saved them. Messi created something from nothing. A substitute scored. The last-minute goal arrived. Argentina won ugly, and they reached the final. But Spain are not Cape Verde. Spain are not Egypt or Switzerland or England in the final 12 minutes. Spain, over 120 minutes, are the most complete team in international football right now. They have quality in every position. They have depth on the bench that changed the final. They have a defensive structure that eliminates even Messi from matches. They did not give Argentina a last-minute escape because Spain do not allow the situations that produce last-minute escapes. Argentina had 2 shots. Martinez made 11 saves. And when Fernandez got sent off, Spain had an entire extra half to find the goal that their football deserved. Argentina crashed because Spain were better. Not luckier, not helped by officials. Better. Every team has a ceiling. Spain found Argentina's ceiling and built above it. Part 8. The legacy question. What does this mean for Messi, for Spain, for the World Cup? Messi leaves this tournament with 8 goals, with 12 goal contributions in 7 matches. With a golden boot that is his by a distance, with records that will stand for decades, with the universal recognition that at 39 years old he produced the greatest individual performance of any player in their 30s in World Cup history. He does not leave with the trophy. But the absence of the trophy does not erase any of the goals or the records or the moments. Argentina came from 2-0 down against Egypt because of him. Argentina's entire World Cup run was powered by him. And when Ferran Torres scored in the 106th minute and Spain won the World Cup, Messi stood on that pitch in New Jersey and watched. And every person watching around the world understood they were watching the end of something that will never exist again. Spain's legacy from this tournament is something different. They arrived having drawn with Cape Verde in their opening game. They were questioned. They were doubted. They knocked out France 2-0 in the semi-final when France had 13 goals in their previous 4 games. And then they produced 1.94 expected goals against Argentina in the final while conceding nothing. Luis de la Fuente has built Spain's 2nd World Cup winning team. The most technically complete Spain since the generation of Xavi and Iniesta that dominated from 2008 to 2012. And at the center of this generation is an 18-year-old from Mataró who spent his final minutes on Sunday night beating 2 Argentina defenders and creating the World Cup winning goal. The torch has been passed. The era has changed. And football in 2026 is Lamine Yamal's world now? That is the full breakdown. Spain world champions. Ferran Torres, the substitute hero. Yamal, the 18-year-old who beat two defenders for the winning goal. Martinez's 11 saves World Cup final record. Fernandez red card in the 93rd minute. Argentina 2 shots in 120 minutes. And Messi's last World Cup ending without the trophy he came to win. 3 questions. Drop all 3 in the comments right now. First, is Spain the best team to win the World Cup in the last 20 years? Second, is Messi's legacy affected by losing the 2026 final, or does his 8 goals, 4 assists make it irrelevant? Third, does Lamine Yamal win 5 Ballon d'Ors in his career, or more? Drop everything below. This is the end of the most extraordinary World Cup in history, and the beginning of the Yamal era. This has been Robert's Football Talk. Hit that like button, share this video with every football fan you know, because this tournament deserves to be talked about for years. Subscribe if you are not already here. New videos every single week. I will see you for the next chapter.